Greetings and salutations, my lovely little Bytelings. My name is Wiggy, and today I've got some great news, as Smilegate has just released some gameplay footage of all of the classes currently available in the anticipated MMORPG Lost Ark. So I'm sure you guys are no doubt interested in the classes found within Lost Ark, as it's currently one of the most talked about MMORPGs coming from Korea right now. So without further ado, let's start showing off these classes. Granted, it's more of a class preview, as some of the footage is kind of brief, but I mean, you still get a general idea of what the classes play like. I will say that I personally can't wait to get my hands on the classes and test them out for myself, but alas, for right now, we will have to be sated with the small amount of footage we're given. So the first class shown is one of the newly added ones from the closed beta 2, which is Destroyer. Now, you can probably already tell it seems to be quite a slow class, but I mean, the class does use a giant hammer and proceeds to beat said monsters in the face with said giant hammer. I mean, it may be slow, but what's there not to like? This class also uses heavy armor, but whether or not it's a sub-tank will remain to be seen. Either way, you wouldn't want to be hit by that hammer. Then of course there is the Arcana, which was also recently added in the closed beta 2. The Arcana is a mage that uses cards to fight in combat, which is a pretty unique weapon choice, as I really haven't seen any other classes in games use it before, plus it looks fun as hell. I'm almost sorry for the monsters. Almost. And this is the Summoner. This is the last of the 3 newly added classes in Lost Ark. As her name implies, she can indeed summon monsters. But unlike most games where the summons follow you constantly, assisting you in combat, this summoner class merely summons them like a skill. For instance, a flaming phoenix that burns the enemy and then disappears back to the ash in whence it came. This of course does add a new element to the summoner class, as they're generally the face roll characters or the easy mode classes. This definitely will make the summoner more of an actual caster, which is always good. Then moving on to the classes you probably already knew Lost Ark had. But let's start off with Berserker. Berserker is your atypical greatsword fighter that you've most likely played in another MMORPG, but it is way better. This class is by no means slow, even considering the weapon size. Couple that with the skill animations and effects, this makes playing the generic sword fighter fun again. I mean, you charge into a horde of monsters and literally explode them with the mere shout of your voice. If that doesn't sound badass to you, then you, sir or madame, are very hard to please. Okay, next on the list is the Demon Hunter, which is in essence a gunslinger class. This class can swap between a shotgun, dual pistols, and a rifle on the fly while fighting, and generally uses a more futuristic fighting style to the previously mentioned classes, as magic and swords don't typically go with gunfighters and grenades, but the class is still really cool. The real question I have regarding this class is whether or not it really does hunt devils. Moving on, we have the Blaster, which is similar to the Devil Hunter in regards to the technological differences between these classes and the rest. Now, since you're no doubt watching the clip, you can probably guess it does use a multi-purposed cannon. This cannon can shoot rockets and bullets, and if that somehow doesn't kill your foes, you can always burn them with your flamethrower, and in that off chance that this still hasn't somehow killed your enemies, you can always rely on your overcharged light beam to literally incinerate any traces that your foes ever existed to bother you. It's a pretty badass class, I will admit. Then there's Battle Master, which is indeed a master at battles, and fights similar to monk classes or brawler classes found in other MMORPGs. This class has a lot of mobility, unlike the Destroyer or Blaster. This class uses its fists and legs and literally every part of its body to destroy you in melee combat. Not only is it fast, but it is strong, and the AoE pressure is insane. Generally, if you see this battle-hardened lass, you best retreat, lest you receive a sound beating. Next on the list, we've got Infighter, which is different to the Battle Master, despite the fact that they both use fists to fight, as this class uses magic in combination to her physical skills, unlike the Battle Master that uses all physical damaging skills. Either way though, I'm still just surprised at how amazing these classes' skills are, and this isn't even all of the skills that you will get. This is merely a preview of the early skills, so you can imagine how amazing these skills will be later on. Now this was the last that was shown on the list, and this class is Bard, which is, yes, more of a support class, but she can still more or less take down foes with her magic, even if it's a little slower than the others. She makes up for what she lacks in DPS prowess with healing magic, buffs, and defensive capabilities to keep herself and her allies alive, ready to take on the next challenge. And if you're watching the video, she does have some pretty insane AoE skills. Well guys, that is it for all of the classes currently available in Lost Ark's closed beta test. But as I've mentioned before, by the release of Lost Ark, they do plan on having all of the 18 classes available and playable. Either way though, at least in my personal opinion, the combat found in Lost Ark is over the top fantastic. I literally can't wait for this to come over to the NA/EU market. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this class preview, showing off some of the early skills found in this game. And before I do end this video, I would like to ask you guys a question. Out of all of the classes that's been shown so far, which one would you play? I am legitimately curious. Now, for me at least, I think I'd either be the Infighter or the Battle Master, as they look insanely fun to play. But that's my opinion. But enough of my rambling. Thank you guys for watching this video, and as always, good day, night, or afternoon, wherever it is where you are, and I will see you guys in the next video.
We fell out of love like shooting stars, came crashing down.